Hey you guys, I want to read you this story. It's called Lost and Found Cat, the true story of Kunkush's incredible journey. And I just had to get this book because it sounded amazing. And check out this cat's face on the cover. He reminds me so much of my kitty that I have, Mr. William Powell. So I just thought I have to get this. It had really great reviews, so let's get into it. Oh. So it's going to start off with some beautiful art. And see, look at that little kitty face. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sold. Okay. Here we go. Okay, and as always, I'll read it and then I'll show you the pictures. Late one night in August 2015, a car driven by a smuggler snuck out of the city of Mosul in the country of Iraq. The smuggler's passengers were a mother and her 4 daughters and 1 son. Their father had recently died. Surah, the mother, had paid the smugglers to help her family flee the country. Mosul had become too dangerous. Beautiful, beautiful art. A few days earlier, the family had gotten ready to leave. Since they could only bring what they could carry, they had packed just 1 bag full of food and water. They would buy clothes later. But Surah had decided they could not leave without their beloved cat, Kunkush. Surah prayed that the cat, hidden in a small carrier, would stay quiet. If the smuggler discovered Kunkush, he would make her pay a great deal more money. Two hours later, the car stopped and they were told to get out. Another smuggler met them and led them on foot through forests and over mountains, stopping only to eat and sleep in the woods. Surah feared for her children. Rihab, 18, Hakam, 16, Mab, 11, Albab, 10, and Ansab, 9. But they saw it as an adventure, often singing as they walked during the 3-day journey. Surah and her son, Hakam, took turns carrying Kunkush at the back of the line so that if the cat meowed, the smuggler would not hear him. Whenever they stopped to rest, Surah took Kunkush behind some trees to let him out and feed him. On the 4th day, they reached a Kurdish village, where another smuggler was waiting to take them to Istanbul, Turkey, on a bus. While the smuggler drove, the family had to be on the lookout for the patrols trying to catch them. The family stayed in the city for 2 weeks, moving from one apartment to another. At least Kunkush could wander freely inside. Look at his little face. Oh my goodness. Finally, it was time to cross the Aegean Sea to Greece. The family boarded another bus and drove to a place called Izmir on the Turkish coast. Then they walked 3 hours along the beach until they were told to put on life jackets. The Greek island of Lesbos was 6 miles across the water. Kunkush and his family were crammed aboard a flimsy rubber boat. It was meant to carry only 25 people, but there were more than 60 men, women, and children on the boat, plus 1 secret cat. Ooh, that's so scary. Almost as soon as the overcrowded boat launched, it began taking on water because it was too heavy. From the shore, people shouted at the passengers to throw their belongings overboard to make the boat lighter, but most refused. Surah tried to hold Kunkush's carrier above the water until a wave drenched them all. The sinking boat had to return to shore. As a crush of people got off, Kunkush's carrier door was broken. Determined to make the crossing, Surah told her kids to stay aboard. Oh no. Can you see Kunkush hidden in the basket carrier? Oh no. The boat launched again, this time with fewer passengers. Sura was scared because only her son, Hakam, could swim, but her daughters were unconcerned, enjoying the ride in the sun after weeks of hiding. The 3-hour crossing to Lesbos felt like it flew by thanks to their excitement. Volunteers in Greece waited on the shore to help the hundreds of refugees arriving every day. As soon as the boat reached the beach, panicky, shivering passengers scrambled to get off. Hakam splashed ashore with Kunkush and put the carrier on dry land. Then he hurried back to help his mother off the boat. Uh-oh. Can you guys predict what you think is going to happen? Wet and frightened, Kunkush pushed his way out of the broken door of his carrier. He quickly disappeared into the forest, like a deer. While the rest of the boat passengers were loaded onto a bus to continue their journey, the family refused to leave without their cat. Several volunteers helped them look for Kunkush. They searched for hours. At last they had to give up. The heartbroken family needed to leave, taking the next step towards their new home. Oh, that must have been so hard. Everything's new and they're leaving and now they... Oh. In a little fishing village on Lesbos, near where Kunkush's family had arrived, there lived a colony of island cats. No one owned them, but fishermen kept them well fed. A few days after Kunkush's family had left, volunteers noticed a white cat hanging around the local cafes. The white cat's fur was filthy and matted. He looked like he was starving. The local cats seemed to know he was a stranger. They hissed and spat and chased him away. How do you think Kunkush is feeling? One of the volunteers, Amy, told her friend and fellow volunteer Ashley about the cat she'd seen. Could this white cat be the one the family had lost? After questioning villagers and searching the island, Amy and Ashley found the white cat and took him to a local vet. Dr. Constantina shaved the cat's matted, filthy fur. She gave him his shots and other medicines, but the cat needed a name for now. Dr. Constantina suggested Dios to give him strength. Dios is the Greek name for Zeus, the king of the ancient Greek gods. That's about how my cat looks when we have to take him to the vet. The friends took Diaz back to Amy's apartment. His shaved fur was still full of sand and bugs. Amy bathed and scrubbed him until he was clean. 5 minutes after his bath, the exhausted cat collapsed face down, mid-meow, and slept. Oh my gosh, you guys, can you imagine that? Mid-meow. Whoop. Diaz stayed with Amy for over a month. Often he prowled around her apartment, yowling loudly. Amy believed he was looking for his family. Amy and her friends were determined to reunite Diaz with his family. But where were they? Volunteers created flyers, and Amy's friend Michelle back in the United States made a Facebook page for him. People contributed money to help pay for his medical care and travel. Before long, news stories about the lost cat appeared around the world. Millions of people saw the videos, articles, and Facebook updates about Diaz. He had become famous. So kind. Amy was fairly sure that Diaz's family had left Greece. Many of the refugee families had traveled to Germany. Since Amy's time in Lesbos was ending, she made plans to take Diaz to Germany. She and Diaz flew to Berlin, where a British couple named Emma and Simon had agreed to take care of him and continue the search. If his family could not be found after a year, they would adopt him. And then, on Valentine's Day, the family saw their lost cat on a news website. The oldest daughter, Riab, who had learned some English, contacted Amy and her friends through Facebook. Everyone had been looking in the wrong place. The family was living in Norway, not Germany. Riab told Amy that Diaz's real name was Kunkush. The volunteers, I'm like getting all teary. They must have been so happy when they found their baby. Oh. The volunteers arranged a Skype visit. When the family saw the fluffy white cat on the screen, they called Kunkush. His ears perked up. He started searching for his family. Oh, you guys, you know that the pet ones were going to make me cry. Oh, sweet little kitty. A photographer named Doug in Lesbos in Germany, to show the refugee story to the world, agreed to fly with Kunkush from Germany to Norway. But when he got into the airport in Berlin, the supervisor behind the counter told him he could not board the plane. That carrier is too small, she said with a sniff. By the time a crowd had gathered around Doug and his yowling white cat, Doug pleaded with her. He told her the carrier was the right size. That carrier is so small the cat cannot turn around, she snapped. At that moment, Kunkush made a dramatic 180-degree turn inside his carrier. The crowd laughed, and the supervisor grudgingly allowed him onto the plane. In Norway, Doug rented a car and drove 2 hours to the family's new home. They were waiting eagerly for him. So was a team of camera people and reporters. Sarah opened the door and blinked at the bright lights of the cameras. Then she burst into tears as Doug placed Kunkush in her arms. "Ma habibi," she murmured. That's Arabic for my darling. The entire family crowded around their long-lost pet. After 4 months and thousands of miles, Kunkush and his family were finally together in their new home. "We're all safe now," said Sarah. Okay, and then I'm going to read a note from Doug and Amy. When we first met Kunkush, we knew that he must have been very special to someone. Imagine how much his family loved Kunkush to carry him out of a war zone. Kunkush reminded us of our pet friends back home and how we would feel if we lost them because of war or natural disasters. What wouldn't we give to see them again? This is why we knew we had to find his family. The search wasn't easy. People in many different countries banded together working for months, until finally the seemingly impossible was achieved. Kunkush's family was found in Norway, and we were able to reunite them. The refugee crisis is one of the most monumental events happening in our world today. Millions of people have fled countries like Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, and parts of Africa seeking a safer life. We both went to Greece because we felt compelled to help, each in our own way. Amy as a volunteer helping the arriving refugees, and Doug as a photojournalist bringing the plight of the refugees to people around the globe. We are living in a unique time in history, a time when the internet allows us to meet people from other cultures and hear their perspectives about what's going on in our world. We all have something valuable to share and the ability to reach out and help. This story is about making that choice. It's only because of all the people who got involved that Kunkush found his family. His story helps us remember that we all need each other. On May 20th, 2016, Kunkush passed away suddenly from a feline virus. He was surrounded by his loving family. While we wish his life could have been longer, he left this world knowing that he was loved unconditionally. This book is his legacy, bringing hope to others through his story. A portion of the proceeds from this book will go towards lifting up more people around the world. And this is from Doug Kuntz and Amy Shrodes. And I want to show you, oh, this is so cool. It has a map of his journey. So we can see Kunkush's journey. And I'm going to start all the way over here. Oh, maybe it's not as focused. And then it went all the way to Norway. And then, oh my gosh, you guys, we have some actual pictures from the journey. So I want to show you some photographs, what it's like, the cats that are there. Oh, oh my gosh, what a cutie! Oh, when he was dirty. you guys. Oh, and then the lady that helped him. So cool. And then, oh my gosh, you guys, and there's more pictures. There's the little thing. Look at the love. She's so happy to have him back. That kitty. Oh, this is such a happy story. I needed this in my life today, you guys. Okay, I hope you enjoyed Lost and Found Cat. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.